Hi everybody, my name is Nikita Sachdev, your host at Cryptovest. I'm here today with Mr. David Ward, CEO of CDRX, a project started by investment bankers which is aiming to improve current financial markets. Let's hear about it all from himself.
So David, before we move on to how you're improving the current financial markets, why don't we start from the top and you can explain to us about what CDRX stands for.
So CDRX is a combination of basically two components. So CDR for crypto depository receipt and X for the exchange. So we sort of glued the two together to get CDRX.
I see. And so that is exactly what your company is doing. You have the exchange, the platform, and then you have the products as well, correct?
That's correct.
So can you explain to me about each component?
So the CDR product is analogous to an American depository receipt or an ADR. Very, very similar from a legal standpoint. Obviously, the technology is very different. So we utilize a combination of sort of old world proven methods, the ADR method, and we translate it through into the blockchain world using crypto technology and all of that. And we get a combined CDR product. And the exchange is obviously the location on which people can trade it. So people need a location to be able to come to access the products, both securitized products and non-securitized products, so cryptocurrencies, other tokens, altcoins, if you like, and also the CDR products.
So how do you guys compare to ADRs, and is it exactly how they work, or is there something different with CDRs and ADRs?
So there's two components to a CDR. There's the legal aspect and there's the technology aspect. The legal aspect, the legal layer, is virtually identical to the ADR approach, whereby we take securities from the secondary market, we lodge them with a depository bank or a trust, and we issue certificates, in this case tokens, which gives the holder a legal right to those securities, so the equities or the bonds, for example. The technology layer is obviously very different. So ADRs are a 90-year-old technology. CDRs are a one-year-old technology, you could say 6-month-old technology. And the combination of the two obviously gives us a very strong, balanced legal framework and also attaches the benefits of blockchain and tokenized security to that model.
Regulation has been a really hot topic in crypto in the last 1 or 2 years, since it started even. So what about regulation with your exchange? Do you see any problems or challenges?
Like any securitized product or any exchange selling securitized products, we have to be regulated, right? That's not a minus, that's a plus. Regulation is there for many reasons, one of which is to protect the public, the investors, to ensure integrity of financial markets, to address issues around terrorist financing, money laundering, and all the rest of it. So we see it as very, very beneficial. That said, there is a process that everyone that wants to deal in securitized products or offer securitized products on a platform has to go through. And we're working through that with a number of regulators all over the world. We fully expect that regulators will adopt and adapt, and there's plenty of enthusiasm amongst regulators for the technology, for blockchain technology, but by the same token, they want to be sure that it's done in a way that best protects the integrity of the financial markets, and we fully support that.
I see. So as an investment banker who has experience with Merrill Lynch and Goldman Sachs, you must know the financial markets inside out. Where do you see the future of these financial markets now that blockchain has come into the picture?
I think blockchain adds an additional layer of efficiency, or introduces efficiency, I should say. Like any new technology in financial markets, ultimately it's about saving costs, so reducing transaction costs, enabling those who participate in financial markets to keep more of the money they make in profits, rather than have them distributed to various sort of inefficient components in the trade life cycle, and also to speed that up. So there are two of the key benefits of blockchain. One is cost, and one is speed. There is a third benefit which is also spectacularly helpful, which is fractional ownership. So if you were to take an example of Berkshire Hathaway, which is one that we often quote, or any other companies. So you take Microsoft or Amazon, which is currently trading at $2,000 a share or thereabouts. Berkshire Hathaway trades at $300,000 a share. So the average investor has no chance of being able to afford to buy one share. And even a wealthy investor with, say, $500,000 has a choice between buying one Berkshire Hathaway share or no Berkshire Hathaway shares. So an advantage with blockchain and the tokenization of equities means that you can buy a fraction of any of these stocks. So you could buy 1.5 shares of Berkshire Hathaway if you wanted to, or you could buy 0.1 of a Microsoft share or 0.068427 of an Amazon share, for example. And that's an incredibly important benefit to the average investor. So it enables people who would never have been able to participate in financial markets to become an investor. It's no longer limited to the elite. It's no longer limited to investment bankers to invest in the financial markets. A farmer in Vietnam, or a housewife in Tokyo, or a supermarket checkout operator in Texas, or whomever has some money will be able to allocate as much of that as they want directly and participate directly in financial markets.
So I could get involved now.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
How would I start? Like, where would someone like me even go to, get involved? What would be the first steps?
So the first step, currently there's no mechanism to really be able to do it, but our platform will be launching the end of Q1 2019, subject to approval by regulators. People will be able to come, they'll be able to register on the platform, and they'll be able to purchase a piece of virtually any major listed company that is available in CDR form. So we'll be starting with the most popular names, obviously, because that's where the demand is. We're very interested to know actually what people want to see as names. Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, they're obvious ones. Berkshire Hathaway has proved very popular for the reasons that I outlined. But Nike, Walmart, Deutsche Telekom, Singapore Telecom, Alibaba, any listed equity can be tokenized. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for investors.
For sure, and for everyone to get involved and start learning a little bit about trading for those who want to, for those who are interested in it. So, speaking about CDRX and your expertise, what is your team's expertise, and where do they come from?
So the team is from investment banking. The average length of experience in the team is 15 years. So we've sort of been around for a while. I've been in banking for 2 decades, 20 years. We've worked for most of the major investment banks. We have a very good mix of skills. So I've worked in technology originally and then trading. We have sales, we have structuring, we have a lot of technology people. We have a former global head of e-commerce for JP Morgan. We have a number of very, very, very skilled, very experienced people. We have a former regulator from the MAS. We have a securities lawyer, so it's a great team. We've got eight people that together cover, in effect, the entire gamut of traditional sort of financial model end to end, which has been incredibly beneficial.
And where is the team based? Is it here in Singapore, or do you have offices other places?
So we're split between primarily London and Singapore. So we have roughly half the team here, half the team in London, and we also have some in Vietnam as well. So we're a little bit distributed.
That's great. I guess that's the way to be. So what about, competing with other exchanges? It just seems like there's so many exchanges out there. How do you compare yourself to them?
I think the biggest difference with us is we are the only exchange that will be converting existing equity issuance and bonds into securitized tokens, at least that we're aware of. There are a number of crypto exchanges that are looking at the new issuance market. But on the existing issuance market, we are at the moment the only person in this, or only company in this space. Obviously, that doesn't preclude traditional markets as well. So traditional stock exchanges, you can argue that we're a competitor with those. I think traditional stock exchanges are taking an enormous interest in blockchain as well because of all the benefits, right? But by the same token, they have an established business. We're new, we're hungry. We're flexible, so hopefully that bodes well for us.
And you did mention you're also bridging the gap, right? So you're not just crypto, you're also traditional markets.
Absolutely. So we are taking a traditional model and we're adapting it for the crypto world. The importance of that is that those people who are comfortable with the traditional markets will understand it, and those people who are comfortable from the crypto side of things will also understand it. And most importantly, I think for the regulators, it gives them some comfort that it's not a big bang, scary process. As I mentioned, I think the regulators are very enthusiastic, and we've had very positive feedback about blockchain as a general solution, and they're very encouraging. They want to see financial markets advance and move forward, but they want it done in a structured and careful way. And the best way to do that is to do it in this step phase. So the first step is the CDR products, which will have actual equity underlying it. And the next step is then native issuance, where shares are actually issued natively on the blockchain. But getting to that point, takes some time and some comfort. So we're very confident that this is the best approach to get us there.
Speaking of the shares, tell us about this transition token. You guys have a utility token within the platform, correct?
That's correct. So the utility token has the function of opening up additional application within the CDR token. That's probably a little bit of a confusing way of putting it. So think of the CDR token as both a representation of a share or a bond. It is effectively a share or bond. It is backed legally, 1-for-1 with a share or a bond. But within that token is additional functionality for the issuer. So if you were Microsoft, or if you're Amazon, or if you are any company, you have the ability to pay dividends through the tokens. You have the ability to conduct voting through the tokens. Virtual AGMs, for example, are very, very, very popular at the moment, increasingly so in the States and in the UK, just because of the cost savings. Paying dividends, the cost savings are enormous. So if you have 3 million shareholders, it probably costs you in the order of $5 million just to pay your dividends currently. If you were to pay those through the dividend tokens, it would cost you about $2 in bank fees as opposed to $5 million in bank fees. So that's for every dividend payment. So the savings are very substantial. The utility token basically gives issuers access to that functionality via the CDRs. So it's a combination of the utility token then drives the additional functionality within the CDRs. You can also use, if you want, the utility token on the platform to cover transaction fees, or to access some additional services and functionality, but that's entirely optional. We're not trying to bind anyone into a specific model. We're intending to make it as flexible as possible, but by the same token, excuse the pun, CDR tokens obviously have a lot of added value for both the issuer and the investor, and the best way to sort of reflect that as a model is to tie that back into the utility token.
So will the CDRX token be listed on any other exchanges, or on only your platform?
So the intention is that it will be shortly after our fundraising finishes, but we'll also obviously list it on our exchange as well, so there'll always be liquidity for it, yes.
And so what's the roadmap? When does the fundraising stop, and when do the developments start?
So the developments are well underway. We're actually quite far ahead of schedule now. So I've seen already the platform. I had in many different phases, and I had a demo of it, the most recent version, yesterday. Actually, it's incredibly impressive. Very, very, very fast. Very fast. So we're expecting to be on target so we have a closed beta starting Q4, so very, very soon. Then we have the live release probably the end of Q1 next year, 2019. That's when we're starting to get the regulators' approval as well. And that will launch with or without the regulators' approval. If it launches without the regulators' approval, we will only be trading cryptocurrencies and non-securitized tokens. With the regulators' approval, then we'll also include CDRs on that as well.
Great. I wish you guys all the best. It sounds like a really interesting project which will really bridge the gap between the traditional world and the crypto world, which I feel like, a couple of months ago, it just seemed like they hated each other. But it's good to see more people like you bringing them together and allowing people like me to be able to trade more easily. So thank you so much for sharing with us your company information. And for those of you who want to know more about CDRX, you can visit cdrx.io. Thank you.